Hi there, everybody. This is David from My Metal Today, and we're continuing our series of Mad with Power interviews with the fest just literally around the corner at this point. It's hard to believe it's next weekend. And today we're talking to the band OK Goodnight. And guys, I'll let you all introduce yourselves.
Everybody, we are OK Goodnight.
Yeah. I'm Martin, I'm the keyboard player.
I'm Peter, I'm the bass player.
I'm Augusto, I'm the drum player.
I'm Casey, I'm the microphone player.
Yeah.
Awesome. Very cool. Well, first off, thank you all for taking the time today, and looking forward to having a fun conversation. Like, the way I would like to start these off is, I'd like to get to know a little bit more about you as a band. So, I think you've been around since around, 2019 or so. I could be wrong slightly on that, but love to just get a little bit more info on how did you all kind of meet and get started?
Yeah, so we all met at Berklee College of Music. Martin and I and our first guitarist, Martin Gonzalez, got together to jam in our second semester at Berklee, I think it was, with another bass player, with Ron, our bass player, our first bass player. And we started doing instrumental songs and kind of like writing what would later become the first OK Goodnight songs. And I think Martin invited Casey to join our rehearsal, and she loved the stuff we were doing and wanted to write over it. And it kind of never stopped after that. We kept going and having fun with it.
That's it. That's true.
That's good.
Yeah.
Very good.
No, super cool. Super cool. So, I'm a little bit of a newer listener to you all, and I think the 2023 album, the Fox and the Bird, like, just absolutely love that album. It's it's definitely a different type of, it's definitely very prog, but it's different than a lot of like prog out there. Like it's there's a lot of art rock, even alternative rock. You definitely have your metal moments as well. There's some cool jazzy stuff in there. There's just a lot of different things happening. But then what's really cool about it is that it's a really cool concept. And it's not like your typical fantasy or like science fiction or things like that. There's a drought happening, and you've got these two animals trying to find rain, and they're going through the forest as they meet a bunch of other animals, and it's a very different kind of approach. And so I'd love to hear a little bit more from you all on kind of what was the impetus and the inspiration for taking this approach. Like, is it rooted in a story that or is it more original material? Like, we'll start there, and then we can tease some threads from there.
Yeah, I mean, when we went to write that album, we knew that we wanted to challenge ourselves in some kind of way creatively. In part, that was because before, and the work really leading up to that, we were doing a lot of writing and kind of jamming in person, and then I kind of would come in and talk line a lot of the time. And so it was a lot of the time like one person kind of like captaining a song writing wise, and then we'd sort of like flesh things out all together. And basically we just really wanted to make the band very collaborative, kind of in all possible ways, writing wise and production wise. So we thought that a great way to do that would be to write a concept album and to really try to write the music based on a story that we kind of came up with together. And really the reason that we chose like The Fox and the Bird and a story about animals is because we all love animals. They're pretty fun and like universally loved thing, and so fascinating and so fun to write about in like a more fantasy sort of context. So we knew that it could be fun and that it could provide a lot of that creative freedom, but also that challenge when it came to writing themes and creating different motifs and like textures for different animals. So, you hear that and see that a lot on the album, with songs like the bird differing so much from the crocodile and the falcon. They all have different personalities, and so that was really, really fun, and again, just like a really interesting new challenge for us all as individuals to really work together as a group in a way that we hadn't quite done before. So that's how it started.
Yeah.
And we did like focus on writing the story first, before actually doing the music. So we spent like quite a bunch of time, like really detailing out, like, and fleshing out all the kind of small parts of the story, so that we really knew what to transmit when writing each song. And trying to like really tap into, not trying to fall into the necessary cliches of like, I don't know, the snake. I remember was like we're like doing a jazzy thing for a snake. Like it's like something kind of like, how do you say it? I forget the word, but it's just like something that is like something that is done a lot, and we didn't want to fall into that. We wanted to see how we could do something that transmitted that in its own way.
Yeah, not so cliche.
Cliche is the word.
Yeah,
exactly.
No, that makes sense.
So we're thinking about what they were thinking and feeling, like a snake. What was it thinking? What the snakes think.
I think also like genre-wise, we just really wanted to start kind of expanding and exploring different kinds of instrumentation, and like this story just made that like the perfect setting. So Martin de Lima played a lot of mandolin and like fun new stuff that and just created a lot of great orchestrations and like synth work that
it was very cinematic. I think we tried to make it a little bit, tried to set the ambience, and though that was the first time we worked like for an entire album with beats as well. His parts are all there.
Yeah, that was amazing too. Like, I remember at that time they were just asking me if they needed somebody to record bass on something, and I remember getting all of that material and being like, whoa, this is something very unique. And I don't think I realized like just the extent of it until it actually was released, and then other people started like really appreciating it too, and then I was like, oh shit, like we did that, so that was very, very cool to be invited as a part of that before being in the band.
No, it's super cool, and of course, I've always loved your bass parts, even in Seven Spires, Pete. But the stuff you're doing on this album is just some really, really killer stuff. Especially like when you get into some of like the jazz grooves and things like that. There's some really fun stuff.
I mean, this band is a really nice opportunity to do things that are not metal bass lines, and so I really enjoy that.
I am curious. This is a total aside question, but was there any inspiration for Love Souvenir that came out of this band? From some of the stuff you did on that?
I think Adrian in Seven Spires, so she also went to Berkeley, and so I think all of us kind of collectively know each other, and we all have been exposed to a lot of different type of music and things like that. So I think we're all, between both bands, we're all pretty diverse, musically speaking, as far as what we listen to and what influences us.
Yeah.
But I don't think she got the idea from OK Goodnight.
Okay. I'm just curious more than anything.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, focusing in on that album specifically, and obviously the different animal themes, are there any either? You can go one of two ways, either an animal that you identify with the most from the album, or maybe just more a specific song, whether it features an animal or kind of, or a mood or a feeling, because obviously some of the songs are more mood or feeling based. And then maybe each of you, I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on that.
It's hard for me because my principal job for the whole album was to do what I could to, as dramatic as it sounds, embody every single animal almost in a method acty way for singing, especially when writing the lyrics too, because trying to sort of craft a story sonically through lyrics without making it feel too gimmicky or too cheesy. Being theatrical is definitely always going to be like a part of it and be there, but like really trying to embody whatever mindset I was trying to write for each character was always a struggle, or at least at different times. It was, it was harder than some songs were harder than others. I'm a pretty big fan of the snake but really the snake and the crocodile, because they were so fun, and I kind of got to do just a lot of playing that I really hadn't been able to do in like other music,
Yeah, it's very theatrical.
Yeah. But like at my my heart really wants to say like the fox or the fox and the bird. Like the title track is probably my favorite song, and I love the like warmth and like summery, just good feeling that those characters as like protagonists that you root for kind of give. So yeah,
that's very nice. I think I would usually say The Mountain for me is probably the song that I enjoy the most. Also that that climax at the end with the orchestra and everything is just like it pays off really nice, I think, after listening to it. But lately I've also been listening a lot, or not listening a lot, but thinking about the Falcon. The Falcon, because we played it a lot on the past tours, and it was always really fun. And it had that long instrumental section that is always like really cool. And I think we did a good job like capturing that like feeling of like flying, especially like in the beginning with all like the open acoustic guitar like riffs. It really feels like you're kind of in a mountain with a falcon. I like it.
That's a good one.
Very cool.
I think you took some of mine as well. The mountain I really like because I like my own sort of creative process has a lot to do with settings and places, and so I like to write about places a lot. And I think that the mountain was really well done. It's super beautiful, super climactic. It's definitely the song that I will show to people to describe OK Goodnight first, and if they're like, oh, I don't like metal, then I show them this Fox and the Bird. But then also, like, I've really enjoyed The Bear quite a bit, because I think that song is quite bear-like.
Yes.
For me, it would probably be the raccoon. I just, I feel like a raccoon.
That makes sense,
Like sometimes I open a bag of Doritos and I'm like, this is exactly what a raccoon would do if they had a bag of Doritos. So, yeah.
It's a good one. Poetic.
Yeah.
How about you?
No, that's cool. Well, I'm glad you asked. I was hoping you would. I was going to share anyway, but thank you for asking. For me, I think there's really two for me that, and they're total opposite songs in a lot of respects. So I really love The Falcon, and a big reason why I like it is it's really like almost a song of two parts. It kind of starts off almost like early to mid '90s alternative rock. Like, I don't know, the band that always comes to mind for me. You might know the band Sixpence None the Richer, but they were known for like the song "Kiss Me." They were like it was like a big pop song. But prior to that, they were much more of an underground alternative rock band. And This Beautiful Mess, their second full length. I don't know. I always am reminded of that album, so much so that I went back and listened to it the other day because I was like, "Am I just off base here?" And then I shared it with a couple other people. Like, no, actually, some of the songs do sound like they could almost fit on that album. And so, like, the first half of that song, it's a little proggier, of course, but it reminds me of kind of that 90s alternative rock vibe. But then the second half of it just goes chaos, right? It's just chaotic, all over the place, super proggy. Really love it. And it's just a really fun song. And then the other one, actually, Peter already mentioned, is the Bear. It's obviously one of the heavier songs on the album, and it's just such a great song. I really enjoy that song a lot.
That one is fun to make too.
And to play live is.
Yeah. Oh, I bet. I bet. So then, moving forward, you all have an album coming out here pretty soon. I think in the next, even few weeks, I believe. And you've released a couple singles. There's 22, and then there's the new one, Spiral, and really, really enjoy both of them. What I'm wondering is, like, did you take kind of a similar approach to the new album, like writing a concept ahead of time, and is there going to be kind of like a similar feel? Like one thing, I didn't call this out before, but one thing that I kind of noticed about the previous album is that it almost starts a little bit brighter and almost happier in some respects, and then as the album progresses, it gets heavier. There's some darker vibes to it. And I'm wondering, like, are you taking a similar approach, or did you decide to go with a completely different approach for the new album?
Yeah, this one is not technically a concept album. I think after working on The Fox and the Bird and kind of going so heavy-handed with that one concept-wise, we were very excited to sort of like re-evaluate and try to write almost in a complete opposite way and just really go with as much freedom as possible. We also, like, the lineup of the band changed a little bit. Our last guitarist, Martin Gonzalez, left the band after The Fox and the Bird, so a lot of his writing, like riff-wise, was really prevalent in everything before, and both Martin de Lima and Augusto both played guitar as well, and so basically we wanted to try seeing what we could do and like what came out sort of naturally after, with there being no pressure to really like write about any one particular thing. And so I think what we came out with is an album that is really chaotic in the way that we wanted to embody life and relationships and culture and society, being that at its core, and that being kind of a beautiful thing, even though it can be very hard to navigate. So there are a couple of songs on the album here and there that do correlate with each other, which will be fun to see, what people think about that. But yeah, this album was just like all about exploring our freedoms as musicians with this sort of newfound like collaborative way of writing, just throwing ideas at each other and demos constantly, and seeing what sticks. So,
Oh, very cool. Well, I know I'm definitely looking forward to it, and it's a nice segue. So, obviously, the motivation for this interview and this interview series is you all are playing Mad with Power, which is a fest that I know I love and lots of people do love. And I know you all were supposed to play last year, and then I think obviously something changed. And I'm very excited that you're on the roster for this year. What are you most excited about for the fest? Anything that you're looking forward to, or hoping to see or connect with, and any surprises for us at the fest this year?
Yeah, I'm personally very excited to see Seven Spires live. Live.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, it's gonna be our first time. We're gonna be in the mosh pit, ready to go, ready to rock out.
They're so good too. As a total aside, I flew to New York. I live in Seattle. I flew to New York last year because they were announced to be opening for Epica, and so I went way out of my way to go see Epica in New York because Seven Spires was opening.
Hell yeah!
So
that's great. Yeah. Wow. Well, thanks for making that trip.
Yeah.
That was a cool show.
Yeah, that's gonna be awesome.
It's really sick to be back in Madison. So the last time we were in Madison, we played at the Crucible.
Yeah,
I believe.
That's right.
And that was at the beginning of our first tour, and we had just gotten back our in-ear monitoring rack that got lost in the FedEx because they somehow destroyed the box that it was being shipped in. So it was cool. It was cool. Ty took us out for dinner that day. He showed us this. That was awesome. It was great. It was great. So excited to be back in Madison. Eat some cheese curds.
Yeah.
That's gonna be sick.
Yeah, and it's going to be awesome to see like what the fest is all about. I'm excited for the community aspect of it as well.
And the games, no? There's games?
Yeah, the games.
Games.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
lots of arcade games, pinball, like it's a lot
That's
of
gonna
fun.
be awesome. Yeah, we can't wait.
I think the thing that I look forward to the most is definitely the community there, because it's like everybody who's there really checks out all the bands. They all really want to be there, and there's a ton of game consoles and arcades everywhere. It's just such a nice vibe. So it'll be nice to be back and see all the, like, I feel like at this point with the festival, there's like the people who go to Mad with Power and then a ton of new people every year. So that should be a blast. And it's so cool for OK Goodnight as well to get into. I realize sometimes how so many people know about us as a band, but they're not the people in the like metal audience, in the power metal audience, in specifically this type of festival. I think we'll make a lot of new bands and have some nice discoveries. So
Yeah. Also, like extra sort of exciting thing is that we are going to be playing new material. We'll be playing some of the music that's out. But this is going to be like pretty much a week before our new album drops. So this is going to be a very special show because we're going to play stuff that no one's heard before that, you know, will be coming out on the record like a week later. So that's going to be so fun.
It's basically our album release show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is pretty sweet. That's pretty cool. So everybody, you heard it here first. If you want to see the OK Goodnight album release show, you should absolutely buy a ticket to Mad with Power
The
Fest.
other bands show up, play some games, eat some cheese curds.
That's right.
It'll be awesome.
Are there tournaments? Are there like some game tournaments, or is it just like free play?
Yeah, I think it's typically, I think, just free play. You know, I think a lot of people will challenge each other. I know when I was interviewing Jonas of Dragonland, he even mentioned that he's looking forward to like playing against people too. So I think, you know, there's always the option to do
Play with
that.
him.
Yeah, and challenge him. Challenge you.
There you go.
Yeah.
You better be.
There we go. Well, cool. Well, any final, you know, closing thoughts from you all before we close this out?
We are so of course we're releasing the album like a week after Mad with Power, but we will continue to have a lot of cool stuff going on, like leading up to it, listening parties for our Patreon, hopefully some other cool things to announce later times. So. Definitely, you know, the people on the Patreon know first. I know the community around Mad with Power is very involved with Patreon because of Lords of the Trident and things like that. So we have a Patreon. We put on a lot of stuff there. And also, we hope to see, if people aren't coming to Mad with Power, we hope to see you out wherever you are at some point soon as well. That's
Keep your eyes out.
That's all we got.
Keep your eyes peeled and check out the Patreon if you want to be the first to know stuff.
That's right.
Very true.
And we have singles and music videos out. So
Yeah.
if you want to look at that,
Yeah.
they're good, I think.
Take a look.
Look at the videos. Yeah.
I will confirm that they're fantastic. So, all right. Well, thank you all so much. Really appreciate your time, and
Yeah.
let's stay metal.
See you there.
All right.